Hi, this is Joe from Max MMA. I'm here with Mike Geurin from the Bombsquad. Mike is 9-1. He just won his last fight, and he's got a fight coming up in M1. Mike, tell us about the fight that you just fought was in M1.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell us about the last fight.
Okay, last fight was M1. It was last Saturday in Atlantic City. It was against Todd Chattel, and it went 3 rounds, but the third round ended in TKO. Initially, I used my wrestling, and that opened the door for some strikes, and I'm happy with the win, but it also, watching the fight afterwards, it let me see some things I have to work on, and I need to improve my technique.
So tell us now, you've got a fight coming up in a couple of weeks, and where are you fighting? What organization are you fighting?
A couple weeks, actually April 22nd, I'm fighting for Bellator at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. So this is going to be the biggest fight of my life, and I'm training my butt off right now.
So you're fighting at 185. How much do you weigh right now?
I'm fighting at 185, and I don't really check my weight every day, but I'm guessing I'm probably in the mid-90s. I don't cut too much weight. I lead a pretty active lifestyle. I'm a health and phys ed teacher, so between work, training, and then I have a 3.5-year-old at home that his name is Chase, and that's an appropriate name for him. I chase him all over the place, so I'm always burning calories. So my weight is never an issue, and I have it under control. My wife and I also do a lot of raw foods type of diets, so that I think that helps. It keeps a lot of things out of our system, and we are, eating very healthfully.
So Mike, you talked about some technique that you want to work on, and I heard you say earlier that you have a wrestling base.
Yes.
And you used your wrestling, which opened the door for some strikes. What techniques did you need to work on?
Basically, I don't want to give it away too much, but I need to keep modifying my wrestling techniques more for MMA. Because if you're just a wrestler, there's a lot of wrestling techniques you need to take out. And so I want to clean up my wrestling and make it more MMA worthy. Just not exposing yourself to strikes and things of that nature.
In your training throughout the week, how much time would you say is dedicated to stand-up versus grappling?
50-50. You need to be well-rounded, so I don't do necessarily stand-up versus grappling. I try to work. Recently, I've really tried to focus on different positions. Down guard, standing over someone in down guard, in the guard, side mount, neutral position. So I'm trying to work as many positions as possible and have a few things from each position that I can rely on. Tell
the audience who doesn't know much about preparing for a fight, how do you ramp up your training before a fight, and then is there a time where you cut off your training and just rest before the fight?
I'm a bad person to ask that question to, because I know I overtrain, and if I know most people, like a week out from a fight, will stop sparring and they'll start to wind down. I don't like to do that. I feel like I get rusty fast. So obviously, like the Thursday before the fight will probably be my last real hard spar a week out, but I go home and train because I live an hour and 45 minutes away. So when I go home and train, I'll do a lot of situational stuff and a lot of live stuff, a lot closer to the fight than most people would say I should. And it's just, I don't know if it's an age thing or I just feel like I get rusty fast. I like it to be fast in my mind, and I like to have drilled it recently. And like a week out, I just feel like my cardiovascular system might start to lose everything I've gained and built up.
Okay, so take us to the day of the fight. You're about to fight later on in the day. What do you do that day?
Again, earlier that day, I like to get a good hard workout in. Definitely not live, but a lot of hard drilling, at least a good hour, good sweat, and again, going through everything you're gonna do in that fight, all those positions, and just to keep it fresh in your memory.
So it's more technique drills at a lower intensity than high intensity drilling.
It should be more technique drills at a low intensity, but again, I just I don't want to. I like to go high intensity because I'm even standing here right now. I'm talking with my hands and doing things with my hands because, you know, I want that fast twitch, that nervous system to be able to fire as quickly as possible when it comes go time.
Well, Mike, we wish you a lot of luck. You're 9-1. You've done great so far. You've had fights within M1. You're going to fight at Bellator. It seems like you're moving up the ranks very quickly, and we thank you, and we wish you good luck.
I thank you guys for the interview. Thank you very much. Max MMA rules. All right.